It's finally here. This is the Neo S gamepad by Cracked. Welcome to It Came From a Box. This is Sergio AM, and last time we checked out the Nitro Deck, which is a handheld controller for the Switch with a few issues, but now they've expanded on their collection with the Neo S, which is pretty much the Nitro Deck as a gamepad. Right off the bat, their box game is top notch. I went with their limited Pop Art Junkyard edition, and I also went with their clear version, but they launched alongside a few others, which all look great. They also have this upcoming Hellboy collaboration along with the Nitro Deck that looks awesome. They're identical aside from the design, and it seems that the analog stick tops on the limited edition one are exclusive to it. These tops aren't even available in their additional set. Over on the back, we have all its main features, but it leaves out a few things like turbo mode and macro recording. Up top, we have a fancy-dancy loop, which you know costs the money to go with. The slipcover slides right off. And inside we have the controller, which I'll get back to. We have a card on how to connect it to your platform because yes, it's multi-platform, works for the Switch, PC, and iOS. Then we have the quick start guide that includes a QR code so you can access the full manual, which you'll want for all those juicy details. Then we have a fancy USB-C to USB-A charging cable, and the controller is in this really nice velvety pull string pouch so you can keep it safe when you take it on the go. They really spared no expense on the packaging. I feel so loved and cared for. And here's the Neo S. So first thing, build quality is top tier. Everything on here just feels high quality. It's got a good weight to it, which I like. It's in this rectangular shape, similar to that of 8BitDo's Lite gamepads. And that works well to showcase the artwork, but it's clearly not the most ergonomic. To help with that, we have these textured grips, but they're a bit small and not as curvy as I'd like. They don't even compete with traditional grips. Either way, that does help make them a bit more comfortable to hold, and they make it easier to reach those back buttons. Like I said, this is the Pop Art Junkyard edition in this kind of turquoise color with a design that looks like something out of Hi-Fi Rush. Then we have their classic clear edition with the retro transparent shell that looks awesome and gives you a peek at all the inner workings. Most of the buttons are identical to that of the Nitro Deck except for the shoulder buttons and triggers, which are slightly different, and the cracked/home button, which is about twice as large. While we're here, it's got that indicator LED to help with all those features, and yes, you can adjust its brightness or just turn it off. The face buttons are just the right size, they're glossy with a very nice actuation and the perfect amount of resistance. The buttons in the middle work just fine. They're a bit far from your thumbs, but this can help you avoid accidentally hitting them. The D-pad has become one of my favorites. It's got a very deep curve with a smooth texture that together make it easy for your thumb to travel around. Perfect to pull off those tough combos in fighting games. The shoulder buttons are very wide and work well all throughout, but they do feel a bit loose. Then we have glossy, smooth, and curved analog triggers with Hall effect technology, and they have a medium travel distance with good resistance. Now, I wasn't a big fan of them on the Nitro Deck because the distance is unnecessary on the Switch since it doesn't support analog triggers, but they make sense here since the Neo S is a multi-platform gamepad. So although you can't make use of them on the Switch, you can on Android. Next up, the analog sticks are full size, just the right height, they're buttery smooth, yes, they're swappable for their other stick tops, and they're still Hall effect joysticks, so you won't have to worry about them drifting. In my testing, they worked well, very precise, and with their no dead zone mode, they activate even faster. But as you can see here, you'll notice some delay, so did a few others, and they reduced it with their latest firmware. Now it's just about the same as with the official Pro controller. Over on the back, we have our program button in the center, reset to the right of it, and two remappable buttons for each grip. They're thin with little to no travel, and they work well. Now let's talk features. It's wireless via Bluetooth 5.0, and it has a 750 milliamp battery. You can charge it via USB-C, or with the charging pins underneath with their upcoming charging stand. Down here, we also have a 3.5mm audio jack that you can use with headphones or a headset, but keep in mind that on the Switch, it only works when the controller is wired to the console. The gyro in here works really well. Motion controls are top notch. I'm sure it's similar to what's on the official Switch and Joy-Cons, but it feels very accurate. Same as the Nitro Deck, we have basic turbo. You can assign turbo on the fly to any button and it works well. But as I said before, I'd love if they expanded on it with an auto fire mode so I don't have to hold down that button. And you can also record basic macros to then map to one of the back buttons, but just know that they can't record delays, it just triggers instantly. The rumble motors in here are good, they're not HD like the Joy-Cons, but the feedback is solid yet subtle. At their highest level, you can definitely feel it, but it's not as exaggerated, which thankfully means they're not that loud. And yes, you'll be glad to know it can wake the Switch. Back here, we have the RFID touchpoint that you can scan to their app so you can add it to your account via their True Collection system. Remember, it's not an NFT, it just sort of feels like one. I already talked about it with the Nitro Deck, but this time around, they've made it much more useful with the addition of their control feature, which lets you adjust and customize the controller in the app. Once you connect it, we have this first screen with the collection info, all the features we can tweak, and you can even update the firmware right here. Next, we have buttons where you can tap any and reassign it to whatever other by just pressing it on the gamepad. Then we have triggers where you can adjust their sensitivity from low, medium, and high, followed by sticks where you can see how they function, reset, etc. And you can also toggle no dead zone mode, which actually works really well. And finally, we have rumble where you can adjust each motor either individually or combined to low, medium, and high. Love this addition, it's easy to set up and it makes the app really useful. I think the only thing missing would be a macro recording feature that we can tinker with because that would easily elevate this to the next level. Right, so I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, and to sum it up, the Neo S is a unique but quirky multi-platform gamepad. I like to think of it like an upgraded version of 8BitDo's Lite 2, but with full-size inputs that are much easier to use. It's really well constructed, which tells me they put a lot of thought into it, but they're missing out on a few tweaks and features that would truly make it one of the best. Like I said, I'd love to see them go further with the app to integrate additional features such as a macro creator and some other innovative stuff. And although the shape is unique, those small grips can't compete with full-size ones, but that's what comes at the cost of portability. So those are my thoughts, but I'd love to know what you think of it down in the comments. Also, if you're looking to pick up anything featured in this video and want to support us at the same time, please check out the affiliate links down in the description below. Once again, I'm Sergio IM. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you for the next box. If you like this video and want to help us out, click that thumbs up button and leave a comment below so we can talk. Now, if you want to go further, subscribe and ding the bell to stay notified whenever we post a new video. You made it to the end, and I just want you to know that you are the reason we do what we do. This is Sergio IM, and I'll see you for the next box.